So over the last few days, we've got a ton of announcements about the upcoming expansion for Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred. But if you're an eagle-eye viewer, you might have noticed a bunch of things that weren't announced that they might have snuck in there on accident or on purpose. So in this Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred Inside the Game, New Region, and Game Features video, we get to this screen, which has at least 4 things that I want to point out to you guys. Number 1, the helmet now has 2 gem sockets. Previously, we only had 1 in the helmet, so it's curious to see that we do have 2 here now, and it makes me wonder if we're going to also see any sockets in gloves or boots, or any additional sockets in any other pieces of gear. So if I bring up the live game and open up my inventory, currently we have 3 tabs in the inventory. We have equipment, we have consumables, and we have quest items. And then if we look at the inventory in this video, we do see 4 tabs now. We have an equipment tab, and we have a consumables tab, but we also have a new gem tab and key tab, which we're not exactly sure what those are going to do yet, but we should find out soon. And then the next thing that I want to point out is this icon right here underneath your character name, which kind of looks like the wardrobe icon from town. This could be a bunch of things. It could just be easy access to your wardrobe so you don't have to go back to town and you can change your cosmetics on the fly. But why do we need that? What I'm thinking that it could be is when we're at the wardrobe in town, maybe we can set up loadouts. So we can set our skills, our gear, our paragon, and then when we're out in the field, we can use this icon to choose between the sets that we previously had set up. Again, this is just speculation, so I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but that's what it could be. And then the last thing of note on this screen is if you look at the stats, the attack power, the armor, the life. It's been suggested for a while now that the level cap might be changing and potentially squishing down to 60, which is kind of reinforced here because we're seeing a new armor level. You can see the experience bar on this screen is a blue bar, which indicates max level, and we're seeing armor of 830. Previously, people had seen screenshots where the new armor cap was only going to be 1000, so 830 here kind of lines up with that. And then we're also only seeing 1600 life here, so we're definitely seeing a pretty drastic stat squish. And then the last thing I want to point out in this particular video is in this shot towards the end, we also see a Black Panther mount. This suggests that we're going to be getting more cat mounts, and it makes me wonder if we're going to get any additional animal types as well. So that's what we found in that video, but that's not all. They also released this blog post on their website, which is a few more tidbits that you may have missed. So as it was pointed out in previous videos, it does look like they're messing with the level cap, as I mentioned earlier in this video, but in this screenshot, it kind of reinforces that. Where we see the experience bar, we see the typical level 59 in the gold color, which is what we would see on a character that has not reached max level yet. But if we look below it, we now see a blue diamond with the number 1 in it, and that blue color looks a lot like the color that we use for Paragon. But they did suggest that the way that Paragon is going to work is going to be changing drastically, and we're going to find out more about that next Thursday during the campfire chat that was announced. So then we get to this screenshot of the Party Finder, which we can see tabbed across the top for all the different activities in the game, so we're going to be able to use it for pretty much anything. And then we see that they're currently looking at parties for Nightmare Dungeons, and we see multiple examples of the same dungeon, so I'm guessing that's just for this screenshot. But what does the listing say? Sepulchre of the Forsworn, tier 2 to 3. Why 2 to 3? Why is it a range? Should it not just be whatever the Nightmare Sigil was for? So should it be 2 or 3? And then we notice it also says Torment 1. Currently, World Tier 4 is labeled Torment, so why are we seeing Torment 1 here? Are we getting additional World Tiers? So this immediately reminds me of the Diablo 3 system, which when we get to the end game, which is Torment, we can then choose Torment 1 through 16, which increases the difficulty of the game, but also increases the rewards. And they did talk about wanting to give players more control over the difficulty of the game, and they referred back to the Profane Mind Cage item. They liked players having agency over the difficulty of their world. So it kind of sounds like they're implementing a system where if you're a hardcore Diablo grinder and you want to crank it up to Torment 4, 5, 6, I don't know what the cap's going to be, but you can do that. You can make the game more difficult, you can get better rewards for it. But if you're more casual, you can just leave it on Torment 1 and have a more chill experience while still participating in the endgame activities. Again, anything in this video is just speculation based on what we're seeing here. And then this blog goes on to talk a little bit more about the new Undercity dungeon type, which I'm sure we're going to hear more about that soon, but all this stuff, I do expect to get a full breakdown of what all of it means. We have a campfire chat coming next Thursday, August 29th, and surely they're going to tell us what all this stuff means, right?